Good morning. So today in hydrogeomorphology, we are going to learn about this hydrological cycle, basically about the drainage pattern and the ordering stream ordering system, right? So first of all, we need to understand what is hydrological cycle, like the entire process of water evaporation, and then water getting evaporated from various sources of water bodies and becoming cloud. Cloud is what? It is basically evaporated water, and as it moves towards land and it rises in altitude, when it rises in altitude, it starts dropping in temperature. And when as the temperature drops, the cloud the capacity of the air to contain water, to hold the moisture into it, the air capacity of holding moisture will reduce. And as it starts reducing, because as the temperature cools down, it start condensing. So when these cloud what vapor droplets, they know start joining with each other, they convert into bigger droplets, and so on. This process goes on till the time that it is not anymore supported by the atmosphere, the atmosphere, and it has to come down. So it comes down in various forms of precipitation, like rainfall, hailstorms, snowfall. Then you have dew. All these various processes of precipitation contributes to water. Now when again the vapor converts into water and comes down, it eventually it will come to the surface, and some of the water will become part of the surface runoff, and some of the water will percolate into the underground and become part of underground water. Okay. So surface, and when precipitation happens, we have channel flow and sheet flow, where this water body, water flow over surface flow goes and contributes it to the water bodies. Similarly, some of the water will eventually get absorbed and penetrate into the surface and go and become a part of groundwater. And that as the groundwater is recharged, the nearby surface water bodies will also be recharged, because it is always the tendency is that the better the water body, groundwater recharges, the better the water surface water body contains the more water, right? So coming to this drainage, we will understand that drainage basin. What is drainage basin? Okay. The total land surface drained by a system of stream leading to the same outflow is called drainage basin. Okay. Whereas a drainage system is that the streams, tributaries, and other bodies of water which are there in the inner region, part of the drainage of that region is called drainage system. And drainage divide is when two water bodies, two drainage basins are they adjoining, and it is just divided by a ridge in the middle, or a rift valley in the middle. So what you will have is, you will have this upraised land feature here, and the drainage will be on the low lying areas of these features, right? So that is what your drainage basin and the basics of drainage is. So now we need to understand what is watershed. Watershed is the entire region which covers the various streams and tributaries are part of watershed. Okay. So in a river we have three courses, that is upper course, middle course, and lower course. In upper course, the entire course of the river is called a watershed, right? So in upper course we have many streams and tributaries coming, where the speed of the water is very high. Middle course, it few streams come and join in this area. The speed of the water is still there, where the the sediments here at the upper coast, the sediments, whatever material are eroded, uh, they start eroding material, rock material and soil from these region on the upper coast. And in the middle coast, these material are transferred, okay, as sediments, eroded no more erosion still exists in the middle course of the river, but more of the transference of the erosional material. And at the lower course, you will have least number of erosion, but maximum number of deposition that will happen. The eroded material which has been coming as a sediments will come and settle on the lower course of the river, where you will come and find natural levees and delta in the lower course of the river. Okay, so we need to now understand is what is stream order. Okay, a stream order is a classification of relative position of stream in channel and networks. Okay, so in channel and networks we have a stream orders. Just hold on. Stream order. So, stream order is a classification of relative position of streams in channel network. Okay, and in channel network, and assessing each link as an as an integer order number determined by the pattern of the confluence in the tributary network and headward of the given link. Okay, so another word, let me explain it to you. The stream order or the water order is a positive, whole numbers that are used in geomorphological and hydrological way to indicate the level of the branches in which the river systems are established. So there are various approaches to this stream order. To topological order of rivers are sections of rivers based on their distance from the source or from the confluence. That is the point where the two rivers are merging, or the river mouth, right? So in their hierarchical position within the river system, terminology has been used as a stream or branch, trend to be, which which is rather going to be part of the river system and the ordering system, ordering process. So there is a classical stream order, which is again which was called hack stream order, or Gulliver's stream order. It is a bottom up hierarchy, that allocates number one to the river. That means it gives the the main river of the body of the river as number one. So stream, let's see here, like stream order refers is determination of the hierarchical position of the stream within a drainage basin. So Gulliver's scheme of ordering is that you are giving the order as the main river system as one, to the river with the mouth at the sea, and its tributaries are given a number that is greater, one greater than the river streams, in which they discharge, in which that is it is discharges too. So for example, an immediate tributary of a main river system, like for a Ganga, will be number 2. Okay, like main Ganga at the lower coast, if you say, when it is going towards West Bengal and Bihar and West Bengal, the tributaries which is joining here will be given number 2, order number 2. Okay, now tributary emptying into order number 2s are given the order number 3, means it is going from bottom to top. Okay, the first main river is given 1, the immediate tributary which is coming and joining the main river is given order number 2, and when that order number 2 tributary is attached, is again being contributed by water contribution is by another stream, is given order number 3, and so forth. Okay, so this is how it will keep on going, right? Then we have Holster, order number. Holster stream order number is like, it is again from top to bottom. All right. Top to bottom order number, in this they have devised that the Holster, the person who have devised this river numbering system, the river of the first order are of the outmost tributaries, it is the outermost tributaries will be the first order. So if two stream of the same order merges, the resulting the stream is given a number that is one higher. So if two is if order number 1 and 2 is joining, then you will have order number 3. Okay, so that is what Holster order number is, right? Like here it is shown here, if you see, 1 and 1 joins to become 2, right? Then 1 and 2 joins again continue to become remain 2. That is what your Holster order number is. Now, Holster order is designed to reflect the morphology of a catchment and form the basis of important hydrological indicators of its structure, such as it is bifurcation ratio and drainage density and frequency, that is based on the watershed lines of the catchment. So it is, however, the scale that depends how where it is coming and joining. So the larger the map scale is, the more order of the stream may be revealed into it. So the general lower boundary of the definition of a stream may be set by the definition, defining its width as a mouth, or reference point of the map. By limiting its extent, the system itself is also applicable for other small scale structure outside the hydrological study, right? Then you have sleeves order number. Sleeve stream order number says that the it gives number 1, unlike hostlers, it gives number 1 to the first order, which is coming the first stream. So when 1 and 1 is attached, it becomes 2, and again in the course of the order number 2, when there is another one which attached, it becomes order number 3. Okay, and so if 3 and 4 order number is attached together, it becomes order number 7. So it is always one exponential or one number extra which goes on in uh, you know um, Sheaves or system of order number. Then we have Houghton stream order number. So here in Houghton stream order number, what he says is here that the other stream that includes Houghton stream order number is an early top to downstream numbering device. So Robert E. Houghton said that an topological stream order system, which is a bottom up stream where the stream order number increases by one at every confluence. Okay, so like here, if this is joining here, it becomes 2, and this is again joining here, this becomes this may be two here, so this becomes 3, and when it joins here, it at the confluence it becomes 4. So again it joins here, and this one joining here, this at every confluence it becomes a one order higher. Okay, so this is all about the stream order number. So the concept of stream order number, that first quantitative method of analyzing the drainage network, was first developed at 1940 by an American hydraulic engineer, that is Robert Horton. So the streams are ranked hierarchically, headwater stream with no tributaries, belonging to the first and lowest order. So the two order streams unite to form a second order stream, and second order stream forms the third order stream, and so on. So Horton subsequently developed a number of laws of drainage network composition, which relates to stream order and a number of associated indices. So such as stream length and numbers are like the bifurcation ratio and drainage area. The stream number is number of stream in which order it is particular drainage basin. The number of each order, it decreases potentially, or geometrically, with increasing the stream order. So as the order number increases, the number of stream which is joining is also reducing. So stream length measures the average length of a stream in each order, and is calculated by dividing the total length of all streams in a particular order by the number of streams in that order. So the stream length in each order increases potentially with increasing stream orders. Bifurcation ratio is also between the number of stream in one order and in the next. So it is calculated by dividing the number of stream in lower by the number of higher order two order numbers. Okay. So if you see here, the red lines are showing the first order numbers, the yellow ones are showing second order number streams. The light green is showing, or the gray is showing this, third order numbers, and the dark green is showing the fourth order number, and this is showing the fifth order number. Okay, the entire thing is a one catchment area, and this is another catchment area. Okay, so this is how your order number streams goes on. Now to have a comparison of classical stream order numbers with that of Horton and Hostler's stream order numbers. So a classical or a topological order streams are designed as a dimensionless number ordering system, that is one starting at the mouth of the river system, which is the lowest elevation point. The vector order, when increase as it traces upstream, and coverage with the smaller stream, resulting in a correlation of a higher order numbers, is more higher highly elevated headwater. Right. So Houghton proposed this to establish a reversal of the order number in 1947, in his research, and he said that uh, you know. uh, that the stream ordering method should be based on the vector of the geometry. Then author Hostler uh, proposed a modification of what Horton has given the method. So both Horton and Hostler methods establish us uh, assignment of lowest order numbers, that one, starting at the at the river headwards. So which is the highest elevation point. Uh, we have classical order numbers assignment correlated to higher elevation and trace the upper streams, and but Horton and Hostler stream order method correlates to gravitational flow, or traces of the downstream. So both of these ordering system methods rely on the principle of vector point line of geometry. And Horton and Hostler, both the rules are from the basis of programming algorithm, and um, to interpret map data required for that we can use in GIS systems. So it is more useful in a GIS system. GIS we can use it more appropriately. So Hostler and Horton numbering system is more applicable in the digital platforms. Okay. So, okay, this is a map of Maharashtra showing that how the main this is as the density, as you come down, the density of the streams also reduces. Okay. So the order number, that is the number of segments, which is the number one order number, will have more number of segments, and order number two will have a lesser number of segments, and order number three will have a much lesser number of segments, and so the bifurcation ratio will also decrease with the decrease in the segments of the streams, right? So the stream system and components, the stream system and components says that that the upper course, the middle course, and the lower course. The zone 1 being the headwater, that is the upper course of the river. The mountain headwater streams flow swiftly down this steep slope and cuts a deep V-shaped valley, and rapids and waterfalls are very common in these regions. Like if you go to Rishikesh, you will come across the whitewater river rafting. River rafting only happens in the area where the river is having a lot of rapids. Okay, so you will come across rapids and waterfall in the upper course of the river, where it has a very steep flow, very steep slope, and hence the water flow is also very high, very swift. In the middle course, that is the zone 2, that is the transfer zone, it is a little lower elevated stream, and it merges and flows down gentle slopes with valleys which have broadened than that of narrow V-shaped valley. It has broadened little wider. Okay, and the river begins to meander. So there will be certain swaying in the flow of the river, that is meandering of the river. Then at zone 3, that is a depositional zone, or you can say this zone is the lower course of the river at an elevation lower, it is much lower elevated, and the river is the river banks are wider, and it meanders quite a lot. It is meandering much more than what it used to meander on the middle course. So the meander slows across a very broad ways, and nearly it is almost like a flat valley. Okay, so at the mouth it may divide into many separate channels. So at the mouth, that is when the river is falling into ocean, It can be separated by many channels, that is because of the deposition of the silt that have been carried from the upper course, and then it is transferred to the middle course, and then deposited in the lower course. And these sediments and these separate channels are forming due to the formation of the deltas. The delta buildup of a river bond makes the segments into the rivers, and it channels furthermore before it comes and joins the ocean. There can be a there are many rivers which do not have delta, but in the lower course of the river you also come across other you know features like levees, oxbow lake, where river is meandering. These are the other features that you can come across in the lower courses of the river. Now, types of drainage system. So drainage system can be can fall into one several categories, and depending on the topography and the geology of the land. So let's just talk in on a broader sense. We have a drainage pattern like dendritic drainage pattern, parallel drainage pattern, trellis drainage pattern, rectangular drainage, radial, and drainage pattern, and angular drainage pattern. So this is dendritic drainage pattern, which it looks like a branch of a tree or a root of a tree. All right, and as in radial drainage pattern, where you will have it, you will come across more of a conical hills, where it will start from the top of the mountain, and it will spread all in the all direction as the the elevation comes down. So that is radial, as it is radiating from one source to other. Rectangular, you will come across the rectangular flow, where there is a hard resistant rock bedrocks there, and only at the faults and crevices the river channel can make its way to flow out. Okay, then in trellis are also similar to that. Then we have parallels, where it is divided by the ridges. Various ridges are divided, and only at the gap areas the river systems can flow out. Okay. uh, so dendritic lacks so drainage pattern used for infer underlining geological and other controls. That is the structural control. Let's talk about dendritic. The lack of structural control is that rocks our sediments of the uniform resistance is there. Parallel uh, types of drainage pattern will have closely packed faults, and steep slopes, non-cohesive sediments. And also a radial will have a structural control, like it will be on the conical hills, like volcanoes are conical hills, domes, tiled or fold alternative resistance, and weak segments of the units. Rectangular will be are the joints and the faults, and angular are eroded domes in alternative resistant or weak segments. So in geomorphology, the drainage system, also known as the river system, are the pattern formed by the streams, lakes, and in particular drainage basin. So they they are governed by the topology of uh, topography of the land, whether a particular region is dominated by hard or soft rocks, and the gradient of the land. So how slow, what is the elevation or the slope angle. So geomorphologists and hydrologists often view streams as being a part of drainage basin. So drainage basin is topographic region from which a stream receives runoff through flow and groundwater flow. So the number, size, and the shape of the drainage basin found in areas vary, and the large topographic maps are the uniform of the drainage basin is available. This is dendritic type. This is satellite image, and this is another modular image that you can see. You will see that it resembles more like a tree branch joining all the stream joining from both the side of the terrains. The dendritic drainage system comes from the word Greek word which means trees, and it is one of the most common types of drainage system, and contributes with many streams. uh, uh, they join at the mainstream or the rivers, as per the elevation at the flow of the land, and they follow the slope of the gradient or the terrain they are in. Okay, so dendritic drainage system from it forms a V-shaped valley, and as a result, the rocks must be impervious and non porous in type. So most of the rivers are in India. Most of these dendritic river system we will come across is Indo-Gangetic regions. We will come across as dendritic type of river here. So here in the images also you will see the all the rivers are joining the main river Ganga, where Yamuna is also being part of Ganga river. Chambal being one of the tributaries of Yamuna, and then Yamuna confluence at here Allahabad, and so many other Bhagirathi, Gandak, and all those rivers are joining in the main river system here. But again, at the lower course of the river, if you see here, you will come across there are many deltas which is forming here at the base of the Ganga river system. This is a Indo-Gangetic. This is Ganga Brahmaputra delta system, and when the two river system is confluenced here at the Padma, and then it is making many small distributaries, giving rise to a world's largest deltatic system. This is another image of a satellite image showing the trellis type of river or the stream which is joining. Okay, now drainage pattern again in volcanic here. Here this is an aerial image. It shows this is a high top volcanic mountain, and if you see the small vein like structure which is there, it is all because of the drainage, radial drainage. So if you see, it is all concentrated at the peak and coming down on the slope of the volcanic structure. Okay, so this stream radiate outwards from the central high point, that is volcano, usually displays an excellent radial drainage pattern. It will also be again inward drainage pattern will also happen in where the surrounding land area, where again here in this image, if you see the surrounding areas are having a higher uh, elevation than the center part, so you will come across a central depression where you will have an inward radius of the radial distribution of the drainage pattern. uh, Radial drainage pattern will happen on the volcanoes, and inward will happen in the where you have a depression, radial depression. Angular drainage pattern is an pattern stream follows a roughly circular path. It follows more like the circular path, creating a ring like pattern. So this is more like this type of pattern it will be forming, and it is because the rocks is weak, which means that is the very porous, allowing a lot of water to flow into it. So because of the rock structure, it is more structured like this. Okay. uh Again, this is you know radial image of what do you call the river drainage pattern. This is rectangular. This is an aerial image of a rectangular drainage pattern where you will have a strong harder rock structure, and finding the river or the streams are finding the cracks and crevices at the angular to turn to take find its path. Drainage pattern trellis, again a main river system coming and joining like this. So this is again an example of a trellis river system where this there are small tributaries coming and joining here on the parallels. It's more like, trails. Okay, like this. Okay, so the geometry of the trellis drainage streams is similar to that of common, gradient trellis grows like a, like you have vines that you can string up, and there are certain branches which is coming. When you tie up a string of vine, what happens is you will see many branches which is going out. So the trellis has some similar pattern than that of a tree, of a trailing tree. um, as the river flows along the valley, the smaller tributaries feed into it from, steep slope on the side of the mountains. Now these tributaries enter the main river approaching at a 90-degree angle, causing a tree like appearance from the drainage system. Okay. Now, the geometry of trellis system is that, um, as the river flows along the Strike Valley, the smaller tributaries feed into it from a steeper slope on the side of the mountains. Now, these tributaries enter the main river and approach at a 90-degree angle. We have known that, and the o- you will find these type of patterns in Appalachian mountains in North America and northern parts of Tinderberg. Then you have old fold mountains of, Singhbung region, in that is in Chota Nagpur plateau, which you will find these types of river trailing rivers. Parallel drainage system, like they are the pattern of river caused by, steep slope with, some very, flat paths. Like here you will see these are, these are very steep slopes. That's why the rivers are forced to follow an elongated flow line. So due to the steep slope, the streams are swift and straight, and with a very few tributaries joining it, and a low, and the flow of the same is in the same direction. So for a parallel drainage pattern, you need to have a very steep slope. So parallel drainage pattern of a river caused by the very steep slope, because and the water is, the flow of the water is very fast, so that's why they formulate from a parallel like patterns. The parallel drainage patterns are, mm, are from, pronounced slopes, we as we know. So these are the based on, shape of the river system. That is, these are, if you come here in Indus, Godavari and Mahanadi, or Kaveri river system, you will find a dendritic river, um, what do you call, river pattern. Himalayan rivers, some, will have this volcanic rivers, and Himalayan rivers will have this radial pattern in some parts. Rivers of Vindhyachal mountains also having these types of, rectangular pattern they follow. And Chota Nagpur plateau region will have a trellis like river patterns. Okay, this is how it looks like when we, study on a satellite image. This is blue highlighted region shows the trellis and dendritic river patterns. Stream valley develop evolution is like, as A, B, C, and D. As the river is in the yeah, upper course, then in the middle course, or the edge, then so it starts meandering, and then at the lower course it meanders further more, with the widened valley in between. So the stream valley developed based on, level. Here it is given like this. You can see as you come down, it keeps on reducing in elevation, and so the meandering also occurs in a very fast region. So stream valley development, lateral erosion will happen here. Again, mm, lateral erosion means, it is happening, cutting by the sides. uh, Furthermore, because in the, under cutting of the valley, wall is also there. And then this is widening of the floodplains, because this process keeps on happening as the elevation comes down. So it widens here, and that's why it meanders furthermore. So in the next class we will talk about the lower course of the river and how it meanders, and what are the different features, land features of meandering rivers. Okay, so this is all for the lecture today, and we will again meet you tomorrow on the next lecture. Have a nice day.